Hello and welcome to Dark and Stormy Book Club. Today we visit with the author Elle Marr. Enjoy! I'm Ann Dark.
I'm Tracy Stormy.
And I'm Kathy Knight.
And together we are
It Was a Dark and Stormy Book Club,
a podcast for mystery lovers.
Welcome. If you enjoy our show, please consider contributing to the Dark and Stormy Patreon. By becoming a patron, you will help us create better and quality content. There are also benefits to becoming a patron, such as exclusive content and Dark and Stormy merchandise. Become a supporter at patreon.com/darkandstormybc. Check our website for the link. We appreciate any and all contributions. Thank you.
The Family Bones by Elle Marr is published by Thomas and Mercer. Psychology student Olivia Eriksen's family is notorious among true crime buffs. Faced with a legacy of psychopathy that spans generations, Olivia has spent much of her academic life trying to answer one chilling question: nature or nurture. Although she's kept a safe distance from her blood relatives for years, Olivia agrees to attend a weekend reunion. After all, her fiancé is eager to meet his future in-laws, and the gathering may give her a chance to interview her elusive grandfather about the family traits. But nothing is ever peaceful among the Eriksens for long. Olivia's favorite cousin is found dead in a nearby lake. Then another family member disappears. As a violent storm isolates the group further, Olivia's fears rise faster than the river, and an uninvited guest is about to join the party. True crime podcaster Bertie Tan has uncovered a disturbing mystery in her latest investigation, and she's following it right to the Eriksens Mountain Resort. There's a deadly twist in the family plot that even Olivia doesn't see coming. We are pleased to welcome to the program Elle Marr. She has a crazy book out called The Family Bones. Welcome, Elle.
Thank you very much for having me and my crazy book.
A crazy book.
This book makes my family look normal, and I thought my family was pretty crazy. I mean, this is the dis and dysfunctional.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Not the fun and dysfunctional?
Yes. Would you tell our listeners a little like elevator pitch of your book?
I would be happy to. Absolutely. The Family Bones is a locked room thriller set in the mountains of Eastern Oregon, where a family reunion of psychopaths goes horribly wrong. Throw in my true crime podcaster, Bertie Tan, who obsesses over cold cases that the media missed, and I'm hoping it's a compelling read for readers.
Wow. The pitch is like, okay, I'm already on Amazon, and I'm going to go ahead and download that.
Misty, you will love it. It is a wild ride from start to finish. I loved every minute of it.
Okay. That's fabulous.
Thank you. That's very kind. Misty, I hope you love it.
I'm sure I will. I'm sure. I'll let you know, but I am sure that I will. A family reunion of psychopaths. Did that just come to you one day, or did you kind of massage another idea into that?
Yeah, a family reunion of psychopaths. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It really does.
I was researching previous books and doing a lot of deep dives onto psychopathy and the origins of it and whether or not we're able to determine who might have it, et cetera, how it might develop. And I found that we don't know. We have some guesses. We have some indicators, such as that if it runs in, or it can run in families. But at the same time, there is a serious debate around nature versus nurture.
Yes.
In that certain psychopathy can be treated if an individual is desiring to be treated. I pitched the Family Bones as a family reunion among psychopaths. However, that's to say there are plenty of neurotypicals as well present at this family reunion. It's not just one big chaotic event up front. There are a lot of other people there. There's a lot of mystery around what lies in each of our genetic codes.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated by that kind of thing. I was watching a podcast today about, unfortunately, children who do bad things. And it was very interesting because they were doing both nurture and nature. And they do have brain scans that they can do to touch on the indicators when kids are younger to see schizophrenia and those kinds of things, but they won't diagnose them until they're older, hoping that there will be like an outgrow of that, or all right, I really don't want to call this kid a schizophrenic until they're at least 14. Like, let's give him a chance. He's only 5. But I find that kind of thing fascinating. Do you have a background in psychology of some sort, or is that just a thing that you like to look into?
I'm fascinated by psychology. I do not have any kind of degree in it. I will say, I will also caveat that I lived abroad in France for a few years, and I taught psychology at the university level. Did I have any business teaching it? Absolutely not.
Hopefully none of your students are listening right now. They're like, well, does that make my degree like unfounded? Like, do I have to go back and take another class?
A valid question. It's about 10 years in the past now. A very valid question, however.
That's all right. This thing is always so interesting because you can take a scan of 2 different brains. They can look exactly the same, and yet they can manifest very differently. If you will watch the true crime stuff, which I'm sure you do to be able to write your sleuth, there are kids who go through some pretty horrible things that do not do a single thing. And then kids, like in the same family, you got 5 kids growing up in the same family, and one of them goes off into the hinterlands, and the other 4 are like, I don't know. We all had to eat the mashed potatoes. Like, I'm not sure.
Well put. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery around it, a lot that we don't know. And that's a lot of what drove my writing and the themes in the book, The Family Bones. Olivia Eriksen, my main character, tries to wrap her arms around the psychological history of her family and also the potential of what might lie ahead for her, maybe for her kids. And so I myself am fascinated by that, and I imbued a lot of Olivia's fascination with that as well.
That's awesome.
This family, you had the whole spectrum. You had people who were very high functioning psychopaths who were very wealthy and ran successful businesses. And then you had the family member that killed his father. You have the aunt who was just a little wacko.
In need of help.
A psychiatrist would have had a ball at this family reunion.
Absolutely.
And poor Olivia, she's trying to find answers, and the answers are very different from what I thought the ending would be.
Ooh, that's even better.
I love the twist plug. Thank you for plugging the twist.
Yes, you did a good job on that one.
Yes.
I went, oh,
take a victory lap.
Thank you for that. That's very kind. I hope other readers agree.
I think they will. And then you had the story of the missing woman and the podcaster who's trying to solve her disappearance. And it all gets woven into this big
tapestry of awesome.
Yes.
Okay. I like tapestries of awesome. When you were going into it, so often, I said this at our last one, and I say it again. Sometimes plot is a 4-letter word. So do you plot, or did you start out with the idea of, all right, I want a family reunion, I want psychopaths, I want a podcaster, go.
Wish I was that organized, Misty. Oh. Maybe you are. Are you that organized?
I am.
That's wonderful. I applaud that.
I do a mind map, and then from a mind map, I do a timeline, and from a timeline, I write my book. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, I can't not do that.
I aspire to you.
I am horrible with the rabbit trails. I once tried to allow myself to just start and write by what I call the headlights. So like when you're in a car, your headlights can see so far. So I didn't plot the whole thing out. I knew maybe what the next 3 chapters. No. I wrote thousands of words that I ended up having to cut because I'm like, where were you going with that? That was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. No word is wasted, but wow.
Yeah. I've definitely been there. I sympathize with that experience. I cut a whole bunch of other things in this book. Yeah. Those are bonus chapters, right? For eventually when a reader wants to see the bonus chapters at some point, you have them ready.
Yeah.
I definitely plot out the major points.
Okay.
I know the ending. My editor insists that I know the ending, but how I get there can sometimes deviate significantly from my outline.
Okay.
But I try to map out the major points, like the 25% mark, the 50% mark, 75% mark, and then like kind of massage everything along the way.
Yes.
I knew that I was going to have a family reunion of psychopaths because back to my research, I was thinking, what would that be like if one of the only indicators we know is that it can run in, or it can be more pronounced in families.
Right.
What if it was in one family?
I love
what would that look like? So I knew that. And then Bertie Tan, my true crime podcaster, she came at the 11th hour, like probably 2 weeks before I turned in my book to my editor.
Oh, really?
I rewrote a ton.
She's such an integral part of the story.
Yeah, she is.
You heard it here on Dark and Stormy Night. I'm just saying, you got the inside scoop on where Bertie came from.
That's the first time I actually said that in public. So yes, that's
true. We're special.
It was a late edition, but I knew she was missing. I knew something was missing about the manuscript. And so I took a hard look and realized she was needed.
I liked her daughter, Brooklyn. Yes. Mommy.
She's a cute kid.
Brooklyn kept your mother in line.
That's all right. That's all
very assertive as a 5-year-old.
You might need that sometimes. So when you were thinking about the podcaster, I recently watched a documentary. There was a woman who went missing in a town in England, like one of those small villages. And the online amateur sleuth community got wind of it. And they all decided to go in.
I saw that.
They like trampled all of the clues. They made it really difficult for the police to do their jobs. Is that something that you play with at all? Kind of like, what do you do? Because, like Only Murders in the Building is super fun on Netflix. That's Netflix, Prime, Hulu.
Yeah.
Might be Hulu.
It's Netflix.
I watched it. I don't know.
So it's Steve Martin and Martin Short, and they live in a building in New York City, and someone dies, and so they're looking into it. So it's one thing, for an amateur sleuth to hit all the, but if you've got like a whole crowd of them, what do you do with that?
She has 20. Count them, 20.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, absolutely. You got to pick a lead. Hopefully there was a lead. It sounds like there wasn't a lead amateur investigator in England, but someone's got to take point.
Yes. Do you think, and this is a question because I haven't read it, is this the beginning of something or is it a standalone?
I would love for this to be a series.
Oh.
And someone actually asked me that last night, if there was going to be another book. And I thought, that's a great idea.
I could see that expanding.
Yes.
Without giving anything away. The Eriksen family has a lot of room there to tell a story.
A lot of prequel, sequel action.
There you go.
Or even Bertie as she looks into other cases.
Oh,
that would be neat. Like I said, it just had someone ask me the question last night, and I just never even, I only write standalone. But I'm not against series. I would love to write a series. I just haven't found the right story to continue on. But that will largely depend on how well the Family Bones does. So if you listeners are liking the Family Bones, be sure to drop a review and tell my editor that they want another one.
I can do that now.
Yes. Oh, this book.
I haven't read it yet, but I did get to talk to Elle, and I would like a second one before I even, because I want to read them in line. So if you could make that happen now, that would be awesome.
That, yeah. Misty and Elle decided that this should happen.
Right,
so
right. I'll even help you with the plotting so that you're a little more.
You have the mind map.
Right, right. We can mind map something, and then you just run and write that for me because I would love.
It's a deal. Let's do
All
it.
right, all right. Yeah, exactly. Again, exclusive. What publisher are you with?
Thomas and Mercer of Amazon Publishing.
Okay. That's
Now,
awesome.
Is there a real Horsefly Falls?
There is not. There are plenty of falls around Oregon and in that area, but Horsefly Falls is something that I made up. That's my creative license. However, the greater locations of Mercer Forest, which is on the very first page of the book, is a real place. And I was searching on Google Maps, as authors do, looking for a good location. And I was just searching in Eastern Oregon for a spot that checked the boxes on my list and found the actual nature preserve Mercer Forest, which in French, Mercer is unfortunate or bad luck.
Ooh.
And so I was like, let's go.
Yeah, perfect. Perfection. I knew it was going to happen. Yeah, that kind of thing always makes me, at least as an author, feel like, okay, I've hit on something here. I don't know what it's going to be, but I feel like things kind of fall into place, I guess. Does that happen for you?
Yes, it does. And sometimes it'll happen so seamlessly. I have to stop and grill myself if I just saw this on TV or a movie or like read this in a book. I'm serious. I get like real nervous because when I was a teenager, I thought that something had happened in real life. Oh. And then I realized later on that it was a Friends episode. And it wasn't anything that happened to me.
Scrooged with Bill Murray, where he's trying to snow the ghost of Christmas past. And he says, I went out and played with it. And the guy is like, yeah, that was an episode of Little House on the Prairie. So you're not alone. I'm just letting you know. You're not the only person that's ever happened.
Me and Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Thank you for the comfort.
like
I felt very embarrassed. Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, because some people call it kind of the cosmic soup. So like there's this cosmic soup and there's all these ideas up there and you just kind of grab one. But sometimes I worry, okay, has it been done 1,000 times? Where did this come from? Why is this character name like haunting me until I write it down? And then you want to check yourself. Although to be fair, and I hope you find this too, you could write the exact same book as another author. And it is not going to be the exact same book.
Completely different.
Because your filter, I guess is what I call it, your life experience, the things that you see for characters is going to be different. I actually wrote a couple of books with friends where the first line in every single story was exactly the same. And then the stories went off into 5 really different directions. And yet they all started exactly the same. Yeah, it was fun.
That's a brilliant exercise.
Because it forces you to think.
That's a great idea. I'm sure there was a lot of creativity that came out of that.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
all 5 of you. Glad
they were done. So you get the idea. You have your psychopaths. You have your, Birdie came in later. So you have your psychopaths. You have your family reunion. And so you know kind of some points, but then you just sit down and start writing it. Do you see it in your head like a movie?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And so I try and I hear it and I see it in my head like a movie. And so I try to transpose those ideas from my head to the page, then eventually the reader's head. I think Stephen King called it a strange kind of telepathy, where authors transpose images into readers' heads across time, across distance. And it's a neat kind of engagement to be a part of with a total stranger. And that's how I feel about it.
I mean, how kind of awesome is that is what we do? I mean, even if somebody comes to you and you were to say, well, draw me a picture of what you think the heroine looks like, and my picture is completely different, I love the idea of talking to people that we are never, ever going to meet. I mean, I'd love to meet them all. I just don't have time,
Right.
I'd make time.
Right.
But, I mean,
That's
I can't go to 50 states and be like, did you read it? Because if you read it, I'd like to also meet you. But you're communicating through story, images, and thought. any kind of book I read, I always walk away with something.
Absolutely. Ideally, yeah. You're always, if you spend 300 pages or 400 pages with a set of characters, they do stick with you at least for a short amount of time, sometimes longer, years for me, usually, thinking about other characters.
Even if you just want to go to your mom and say, thank you for your genetics.
Yeah, exactly.
Please don't tell me about Uncle Frank. Do not do a genealogy. I do not want.
Now, are you working on anything now?
I am. Thank you for asking. I just completed my first draft of my next thriller. Is called The Alone Time. And I turned it into my editor last week, actually.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
Have any idea when that will come out?
It already has a publication date of March 12th, 2024. So about a year from now. We're
Very
along.
exciting.
Very good. So is that going to be a psychological twister like this one was?
It is indeed. It is a psychological twister.
Forward to it.
Thank you. I also have, for anyone who's not into psychological thrillers, I have a straight thriller coming out next summer 2024, with Disney Books. And that's an adult thriller and their new adult imprint.
That's awesome.
Very good. Do you have a title for that one?
That one is called Your Dark Secrets.
Oh,
that sounds good.
Now that would be something to read on a plane. And if somebody's trying to talk to you, you just turn sideways. And you're like, see this title? I can do this. Just go ahead and let me read.
Absolutely. Books are so useful across the spectrum.
Yes, there was a meme the other day on Facebook that said, you should always carry a book with you so that you have something to do and or a weapon.
That's
like, all right. I
with the book.
I subscribe to that.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to know all of the different options that you have, right?
And we do have options. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, Elle, we thank you for talking with us. I did love this book. It was so good. I look forward to the next one coming out and can't wait to read that one.
Both
Thank you very, very much. Yeah, both of them next year. It's going to be a busy year.
The Disney and the I'm going to have to start saving my pennies so that I make sure, because this is the problem sometimes, is that you end up with some auto buys and you're like, oh look, she put her grocery list out, I'll go ahead and buy that too. So that's okay. It's okay.
I feel the same way. I apologize and thank you.
Yes. Right. Sorry on the one hand, but also not sorry on the other hand. So,
well, Elle, we thank you again, and you enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening.
That's it.
We wish you all the best with your books.
Thank you very much. It was very kind of you to have me here. I really appreciate talking to both of you.
Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Well, that was a lot of fun. I won't lie.
It was fun. Oh, God, that book is so good.
Okay. Oh man.
You gotta read that one.
I can't start it till Monday though. Sorry. Well, it's already on my Kindle.
You will not be sorry.
Okay. I love talking to the authors about like what their process is and how do you come up with the ideas. And there are some authors who do not see it as kind of a movie. They are more coming up with things that make sense, like logically. And then there are some authors who see it like as a movie and they're really just transcribing the movie. I love being able to see where your ideas come in. That was fun.
I liked what you said about the 5 people and 5 different stories all starting out. That was interesting.
That was a lot of fun. It was called The First Sentence. It's gone now, but everybody did a different story. But the first sentence was the same in every single novella because they weren't full-on books. But it is true. There are a lot of people who worry, well, now I can't do a story with a psychopathic family reunion. Well, yeah, you can, because your ideas are going to be different. I mean, make sure that it's different enough, but that just because it's out there doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all right. I'll make some time to read. Probably not right before bedtime. I won't lie.
Not if you know anybody named Eriksen. You're gonna this.
I love it.
It has a really good twist. Whoa.
Well, I will look forward to that. Well, and I look forward to Disney having a thriller imprint.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
I didn't know they did either.
That'll be interesting to see what they come out with and whether or not it then translates into like movies on Disney Plus and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So many things going on.
Life keeps turning around.
It does. All right.
So, yep.
Yep. All right.
Enjoy.
Well, I will, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Trivia. Last week's question is, which mystery author also writes under the pen name of Tom Johansson? A. Stieg Larsson, B. Jo Nesbø, C. Peter Hoeg, or D. Gunnar Staalesen? The answer is B. Jo Nesbø. It was announced in October 2013 that writing under the pen name of Tom Johansson, Jo Nesbø had written at least 2 novels, provisionally entitled Blood on the Snow and More Blood on the Water, scheduled to be published in autumn of 2014. This week's question is, other than being a prolific mystery writer, what is Susan Wittig Albert's other claim to fame? A. Writing for a gardening magazine. B. A professor of English. C. Writing self-help books for women. And D. She's the first female VP of a university. Tune in next week for the answer. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. We thank Elle for letting us talk to her for a while. I really do recommend that book. It is very well written. You will love it. We have another interesting book for you next week. Be sure to join us then. And if you want to check out some of the episodes we've done in the last 5 years, check out our website. It's darkstormybc.com. And you'll find every episode from April of 2018 on. There's a lot of authors for you to choose from. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please join us next week. And have a good week. And remember,
life would be boring without a little mystery.
Bye.